Hi everyone. Oh, welcome back again to today's live, and I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to all the responsible fathers, all the present fathers. Oh, you're welcome. Welcome to today's live. I want to say happy Father's Day to all the present fathers in their children's lives, I mean. Okay. And today we basically want to talk about a Father's Day from a daughter's point of view. And I would want us to maybe share our thoughts as well, okay? Many times today, mostly it's the fathers that are being celebrated. And I want to believe even you who is watching right now, maybe at one point during the day you may have wished maybe a father figure in your life. Happy Father's Day, okay? And today, funnily enough, I was just going through, the story of Jeff Koinange, and I just realized he had talked about, there's a book that he wrote about himself, and there's a chapter he's talked about fatherhood, and he shared his experience on Father's Day, that is like 3 years ago on 21st of June. And I was like, oh, wow. This is amazing. And I just realized, Jeff Koinange was also raised by a single mom, okay? And many times, maybe you may find people talk about fathers who were never present in their lives, or fathers who were present but emotionally not present, or they were present but, I don't know, physically they were not present, okay? So they didn't have that connection with their parents, okay? I don't know, but have we ever thought about how about those who, lost their parents, lost their fathers, okay? This is never mentioned, okay? And how I wish that we have this conversation today, okay? What impact does it have on, especially the girls, especially the daughters? Because I want to believe our fathers as daughters really impact our lives, our social lives, our career lives. Our mothers basically do the emotional part, okay? But the outward part basically depends on our fathers, okay? And so if you never had that opportunity to, interact with your father as you were growing up as a daughter, you can bear me witness today that it has impacted you in one way or another. And you are free to share your, your thoughts, how this has impacted you. I would want to say, as daughters, even our self-esteem really highly depends upon our interaction with our fathers. And we can't run away from this, okay? We can't run away from this. That is the truth. As you grow up, you may not see it until you become an adult, okay? That is when you now see how important your father is in your life as a girl, as a daughter, as a lady, okay? And the times that I wished, my father was around just to have a conversation with him. Well, I personally lost my parent my father at a very tender age. Okay. I think below 3 years. Yeah, because I never had time to, really interact much with him. Okay. And it reached a point in life that I really wished I had my hi Janina. Welcome to today's live. Okay. Yeah, it reached a point in life that I really wished my father was alive. Okay. That we would have serious conversations with him. Okay. Where, I could ask him questions and he could advise. Minyanya SDA High School. Oh, welcome. Dave in the building. How are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, so, yeah, there are times that I really wished my dad was really alive, okay? That we would have serious conversations. This may get emotional, but I pray that God gives me the grace and the strength, okay? There are times in life that I really wished my father was really present, was alive, that, we could just have some time and talk about issues of life, okay? But no, okay? Our father's figures in our lives as daughters is very important, okay? I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that, okay? Yeah, so I want to say as daughters, we really need father figures in our lives. And not just a father figure, but how we pray that our biological fathers would be present in our lives. But life happens and there are things that we really don't have control over, okay? And life happened, okay? Life happened, okay? There are times, especially for the girls. I don't know how about the boys. Maybe I will someday have a conversation with maybe the men so that they could really tell me of their experience. Okay? They could share with us their experiences growing up, not having their fathers in their lives. Maybe he was dead. Maybe they were divorced. Maybe just decided to give up on you people. Okay? I don't know. I don't know how about the men, okay? But for the ladies, it's not easy. Especially if you're a lady and then you're brought up by a single mom. Even the society is not very nice. It's not such a nice place to be, okay? You get to experience a lot. The environment becomes very harsh, okay? There are certain stages that you really wished. I wish my dad was around. We could have this conversation. He could tell me how to go about it. But no. Okay? Now, there are times in life, as a lady, you get to a point where, you begin dating and whatnot, okay? And there are such phrases, okay? Some men will come and really tell I can't date a lady raised by a single mom, you know, a single parent, a single mom. And I'm like, you know, at times I sit back and really ask myself a question. You know, we don't decide the environments that we find ourselves, the kind of families we find ourselves, especially as children. We don't get to choose, no. Okay? We don't get to choose. And at times I think it's a bit insensitive for people to talk such, okay? That, you know, I can't marry a lady from, you know, from a single mom. And I'm like, well, you may be blessed to have your both parents, but how about if you would also have the opportunity to choose and say, you know, I can also not marry a man brought up by a single mom or a single dad. Okay. How about we were also given that opportunity to choose? How would it be? Would you be comfortable with it? With the same statement as well. But it's always on the girls, on the daughters, you know, it's this, it's that, you know, it's because they were raised by their mom. Their dad was never around, you know. They never had a father figure in their lives, and that is why they've turned out to be like this. But anyway, just as I was saying, we never choose the families that we come from, okay? Especially if you had to lose your father to death, okay? It was never your choice, okay? It was never your choice. And so at times I feel it's a bit insensitive to utter such comments, okay? Oh, thank you. Janina, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know how about you. I don't know what your thoughts are. If we were given an opportunity, we would have wanted our parents, our fathers to be present in our lives. You know, growing up, I am actually a firstborn. And growing up without a father, at times it reaches a point I wished my dad was around. Okay? And then I'm a firstborn and we don't have boys, okay? I don't have a brother. So you can imagine the burden. At times you're forced to man up. And it's not easy. Ladies, naturally, we are created soft beings, okay? And maybe it's just situations and circumstances that makes us to harden up, okay? It may be against our will at times. It may be just because of the circumstances, okay? And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I remember at one point, you know, we had issues of land at home. And you can imagine, you know, after getting married, you still have to go and sort out issues of land at home just for the sake of my mom's safety. So you're forced to man up, whether you like it or not. You have to step in, okay? Those are some duties that, it's meant for the man. How do I go, If it was a land that I bought myself, it makes sense. But this is ancestral land. I have to step in to fight for my mom. So you're forced to man up at a very tender age. You're forced to step into certain duties that are really not meant for daughters. But anyway, that's life, and life happens. And a friend of mine was sharing with me today, she just lost the mother and whatnot. And the best I could tell her, you know what? The world doesn't care. Whether you are an orphan or not, the world wants results. It doesn't care that you don't have, your parents right now. It doesn't care. The world doesn't care. It wants results, unfortunately. I tell my cousins, my grandma had a lot of children, like 8, 9, yeah. And then out of the 9 children, 7 died. No, 6. 6 died when they were still very young and left very young children. And so most of my cousins have grown up orphans. Okay. And at times you'd hear them complain, we've grown up orphans. I'm like, no, my friends, you people have to man up. No one is gonna hear your cries, okay? You have to live, you have to survive, okay? It is you against the world. You have to man up. The world doesn't care whether you're an orphan or not. Yeah. And you're not the only orphan at the end of the day. It's not only you who doesn't have a father, okay? Okay? As much as we wish we would have our parents, we would have our fathers around, it's not only us who don't have fathers, okay? There are so many people who really wished they had their fathers around. As painful as it may be, as painful as it may sound, that is the truth. No one cares. No one cares. But you're not going to walk around, telling everyone, you owe no one an explanation. That I don't have a father, I don't have a father. No. You have to brace yourself. It's not gonna be easy, but you have to brace yourself. And face the world. Yes. You have to brace yourself. Put yourself together. Because remember, there are those who still look up to you. And I always say, many a times the single moms are really looked down upon, not really understanding the other side of the coin. They may not have the strength to really explain their side of the story. They may not have that opportunity. But even if you explain, at the end of the day, so what? You have to carry your responsibility at the end of the day. And so, today I even want to say Happy Father's Day, even for the ladies who have stood in as father figures to their daughters. Standing in as a mother and a father to your children especially to the daughters. I don't know how about the men. It's not easy. It's not easy. Try have a conversation with, single moms out there. It's not easy. I have particularly not stayed much with my mom. After the death of my dad, I lived with my mom for just a few years and then we separated. Okay. And I lived with the relatives until after Form 4. That is when I had the opportunity to now stay with my mom. And of course, just for some few months before I joined campus, okay? So I would not say that I've experienced my mom as such. But for the short period that I stayed with her, I've never had serious talks with her because at times I felt pity for my mom. At times I would look at her. She comes from job, very frustrated. And she brings the frustration at home and we don't have time to converse. And at times you feel so sad for her. She was widowed at a very tender age. And at times you wonder how she survived that, okay? But I thank God for the strength that He's accorded her and, the courage. It's not easy. With all that responsibility upon her head, it wasn't easy. Taking us to school, she has to, go to work, ensure there's food at home, ensure, I recently went at home to say hi to her. And I don't know whether it's out of all that frustrations. There are certain conversations that I really can't have with her. Not that, I don't know. It becomes so hard for me because I feel, I try to fit her shoes and feel the pain. Widowed at a very tender age and having no other person to stand for you except you. You have you and you alone. She also lost the dad, so she had no one. Okay. So I went home and found my mom. Most of the time she would spend, in the farm, in the compound, doing 1, 2, 3 things. She would wake up very early in the morning and it's only sleep that would relieve her from the duties because I don't have a brother. Most of the time she's alone at home. So I think she tries to really engage herself so that she doesn't have time to think a lot. Which is a good thing, but also a bad thing because she really overworks herself. She really overworks herself. And it reached a point I was so worried. I was so worried. But I pray to God that someday He'll bless me and I'll be able to maybe get someone to help her around. She overworks a lot. I think maybe that is just a way of, getting to really engage herself. Okay. Now, once again, happy Father's Day to all the men out there who are really taking that responsibility to raise up their daughters. I think with the experience I've had, growing up, and right now that I am a mom, there are still fears here and there, and I don't know whether I will overcome. And I still fear even having a girl. I really fear having a girl. It wasn't easy growing up, especially, not having someone to confide in, someone to talk to. It wasn't easy growing up. Having to fight, left, right, and center. Having to put a smile to ensure, to show people you are okay. To falsify your courage, your peace. It's not easy. And even up to this point, funnily enough, it's reached a point we had some funeral at home, and I got to interact with some of my uncles, some extended uncles. And they were like, we were born almost the same time with your dad, and we were very good friends. And I tried to reach, after the funeral, I tried to reach out to one of the uncles, okay? And really pleaded with him to, try and be a father figure in my life. That I could call him at any time and, just share with him. What I got was silence. Silence. And that tells you how much no one can ever replace your biological father in your life. They understand you more than any other person would. They will step in for you more than any other person would. Okay? And at times I just pray, Many times I look at my children. I have 2 boys. And many times I look at my children and pray that God may give me the grace to, to lengthen my years, to take care of my children up to an age where they can now stand for themselves. As much as it is painful, there's a difference between when your parents die at a tender age and when they die at a point where you can stand for yourself, where you have a voice. There's a difference. Okay? There's a very big difference. And so I always pray that God may lengthen my years, okay, in this world, and the time to take care of my children. Because at times you never know. Suppose you die at an early age, on whose hands will your children fall? Okay? What struggles will they go through? And as much as we, you know, we need to try and bring up our children to be hardy, to, you know, to understand that at any other point in life, they may lose us. It's not easy. Okay? It's not easy. So it is always my prayer that, even to all parents out there, that the Lord may give you the courage, or rather, may lengthen your life to take care of your children. Okay? May God give you the grace to take care of your children up to a point when they can stand for themselves, when they can have a voice. Okay? And if you have daughters, pray harder. It is not easy growing up as a girl without a dad. It is not easy, but life has to continue nevertheless. But how I pray that parents would have been present, or rather, my dad would have been present. But it's something out of my control. Yes, I am a Kenyan. Jason Kimunyi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm a Kenyan. Yeah. Yes, so really pray hard if you are a parent, that the Lord may give you the grace to be there for your children when you can. Okay? Yes, I am from Africa. I'm from Kenya. Yes. Yes, so really pray as a parent. There's a time we had a preacher in our house just before I got married. Yes, I am from Africa. I'm a Kenyan. Yeah. So we had this preacher in our house, and I thought he was very insensitive. He came to our house and he came and asked my mom, you know, where's their dad? Okay. Oh, great. Where's their dad? And my mom was just quiet. So the other elders, I had to tell them, you see, in this house, there's no dad. The father is dead. And then funnily enough, he still goes ahead and says, you know, daughters raised up by single moms are rarely married, or they make very poor, you know, poor wives. Azaris, yes, there's water in Africa. Where are you from? There's water in Africa. Yeah, there's water. There's water in Africa. There's water in Kenya. Yes, we have plenty of it. Okay? You see, that daughters brought up by single moms are never married, or they make poor wives. And I thought this was very insensitive. This was very insensitive of him, especially coming from the mouth of a preacher to a mother who has struggled to bring up girls. We only have one Kenyan flag. We only have one Kenyan flag, yeah. So I thought that was a bit insensitive coming from him to a mother whom he was supposed to encourage and utter words of encouragement to. I actually thought of really talking to him, but decided to keep my cool. Okay. You know 112 flags of Kenya? We only have one Kenyan flag. Okay. I come from Kenya and there's only one Kenyan flag. Hi, Katie. Hi. Yeah, so the mentality out there about girls raised by their mothers, it's so bad. And at times I ask myself, how about the boys? If you were to use the same statements on the boys, okay? I can't show you right now. It's the Kenyan flag. Okay. It's the Kenyan flag. Yeah. So at times we need to. Hi Mutua, Ezekiel Mutua. I'm fine, and how are you? Yeah, at times we really need to mind our words because we may not understand what kind of things these mothers have gone through to raise these daughters. I always say it's not easy to bring up daughters. It's not easy. Oh, I'm from Kenya too. I'm from Kenya. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to bring up girls. And so I say kudos to fathers who have brought up their girls. Kudos to single moms who have brought up their girls. And have tried to be both a mother and a father figure in their lives. It's not easy. Balancing between being a father and a mother in their lives, it's not easy if you are one person. And if you are a father, please try. Try and be there for your daughters. They will bless you. They will forever be grateful. I am currently in Narok County. Yeah. Yeah, so they'll forever be grateful for your presence in their lives. Just as I was saying, you don't know how much, even at this age, I would have loved to see my father alive. That we may have serious conversations. You know, just the other day I went home and was listening to a cousin of mine call the dad. And to me, whatever she was calling for was like, come on, this is something too petty. You shouldn't be calling your dad over this. But that is the kind of relationship they have, okay? That is the kind of relationship they have. And it's a beautiful one, okay? She was calling the the dad and telling the dad, you know, my daughter was sent home for school fee, and the school is telling me, you see, I have these arrears. When I know I have this amount of arrears, you know, fee arrears. And I'm like, come on, must you tell your dad that? Why don't you call the school and, you know, verify all that? Must you call your dad to tell him that? Huh? And she was like, she wants the dad to come in and, you know, inquire, do that inquiry and ensure, you know, things are right. I'm like, come on, your dad is an old man right now. But I just came to think about it, you know. That's the kind of relationship they have. And that the dad too is like, oh, I will come and, you know, look into that. The dad still considers her, you know, her little girl. I mean, his little girl. And it's so beautiful. There are certain conversations that as girls, as ladies, as daughters, we can only have with our dads. And no other person can fill that gap. That is the truth. No other person. As we grow up, their absence affects our, you know, affects our self-esteem, our social life. It affects us a lot. Some of us may not talk about it, but you can easily tell, you know, you can easily tell just by interacting by a lady, especially if they are not, you know, they've not come to terms with their condition. You can easily tell that this one was raised by a dad and this one was not. From a very tender age, a girl that is raised up by a dad, by a present father, they have their confidence. And because they get that from their fathers. Okay? It said that the first love of a daughter is, the first love of a daughter is the dad. He teaches her everything. Okay? So if you are here with me today, how I pray that, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you for having kept me company. I really appreciated it. Thank you. Yeah, so if you are a dad here today, you have a daughter, kindly pray that God gives you the grace, a long life, to be there for your daughters. Okay? Trust me, you. But even for those who do not have, for those who have lost their parents, pick up yourself. Okay? It's never lost. You can still become what you want to be in life. It's all about your mindset. At a tender age, you may not know, but as you grow, you realize that you can become what you decide to be, what you choose to be. It's all about your mindset. Okay? It's all about, you know, it's all in the mind. You can choose what you want to be. You have all the power. You may not define from whence you came from the family you came from, but you have all the power to define where you're going. And so, as daughters, as girls, as ladies, brought up without their fathers in their lives, you can still become something. You can still become a force to be reckoned with. Okay? You can still be a role model to your children and to other people. If there's someone you can talk to, go ahead and talk to someone, okay? If you can study, read it from books, go ahead and read, so that you change your mindset and try and build yourself. If you want to become better, build yourself. If you want more in life, build yourself as a girl. Work on yourself. Okay? Let not your past bring you down. Let not your family bring you down. Okay? And for the single mothers who have stood there for their children, kudos. Continue fighting. It is you against the world. There's nothing we can do about what has happened. And there are certain things that are out of our control. And there's nothing we can do about them. Okay? There's nothing we can do about that. Okay? For the parents that separated, the children in that union never had a choice. It happened. They never had control. Okay? But then we can decide to be a better we. Yes. If you feel you need to see a therapist, go ahead, because some of it comes with trauma. The things we go through as girls. It comes with trauma. And maybe you feel you need to see a therapist. Go ahead. But remember, the power is in your hands. The power is in your mind. You can become whatever you want to be in life. Whether you are brought up by a single mother or not. Okay? You can decide to be a better parent for your children. Okay? Let us study more. Let us build ourselves. Let us change our mentality. Let us change our mindset. Okay? And if wherever we came from try to bring us down, talk positive things. Talk about your success. And it will surely come to pass. We are told that we are creators, okay? And whatever your tongue utters, it is created. So let us be careful, even with the words that we utter. If you want the best for your children, if you want to become the best mother, okay, the best woman figure to be reckoned with, yes, you will be. But it has to begin with you. Okay? You want the best? Be that best. And you will receive the best. Talk about the best. And you will become the best. You want to be the best mother? Talk about the best mother. Visualize it. And you will become the best mother. Even if you never had, that experience. You want to become the best wife? Yes, you can be. You can be. Talk about it. Pray to God about it. Visualize it. Read. If you never saw it practically, read, study. So if you never got it primarily, you can still get it secondarily. Okay? And if you claim it, you will receive it. And so I still say, Happy Father's Day. But from a daughter's point of view, would want to say, still, Happy Father's Day to all those fathers present, emotionally, physically, in their daughters' lives. Okay? Happy Father's Day. And even for those who stepped in when the fathers, the biological fathers, were not there, and they stepped in and played the role, kudos to you. Happy Father's Day to you. And may God bless you. Because you may never understand the role you played. You may never understand. But it is so beautiful. Especially seeing that the daughter you stepped in to help grow up into a phenomenal woman. It is so beautiful and satisfying. And may God bless you. I told you, even at this age, I still long for a father figure in my life. Okay? That we could still sit down and just talk. Even just make fun. Just talk nonsense. And if you are a father, be a friend to your daughter. Be friends. Be friends. She will never forget it. Okay? For the single moms out there, God bless you. And even happy fathers to you. I don't know whether someone has something to say, your thoughts about today's father figure. I've seen today so many people have remembered their fathers. I never got to experience a father figure in my life. At times I think could be things would have been different if he was alive. But then it says that the laws of the universe, there are certain things that just happen. And maybe God knows why he had to rest at that age. My mom had to go and show me where my dad died, okay? And maybe that is a story for a day. But it was just an issue of, I don't know. I don't know whether I should talk about it today, or we could have it for another live, or another video. Okay? It was out of clan jealousies. You're told that witchcraft is real. Okay? And we can't deny it's real. My father was just found dead. And it's just because of the jealousy in the clan. It's quite unfortunate, but such things happen. Such things happen. And there are certain things we don't have control over. We just pray for God's protection. And we believe that we have a more stronger God. We have a Father in heaven. My son always says he has a Father that can never ever fail him. And it is true. Our God can never fail us. And he will never fail us. He'll forever be there for us and with us. You don't have to book any appointment. No. And that is the beautiful part, beautiful bit of it, beautiful thing about it. He's the best father we can ever have after our biological fathers. Okay? So to all fathers out there, may God protect you all. May God grant you the grace to still be there for your children. At least up to an age where they can stand for themselves, so that they don't fall into someone's hands. Okay? I know things happen, but pray, because we have a greater God, and he can grant you your wish. Pray that God grants you the grace to be there for your children, especially for your daughters. Okay? Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you for those who kept me company throughout this live. And may God bless you. Happy Father's Day to everyone, to all the men out there who are playing their roles, all the responsible and present fathers out there, all the mothers who have stood in as the father and the mother figures in their daughters' lives. May God bless you. Thank you so much. Okay? You're doing a great job. And let no one bring you down that you are a single mother. God bless you. God keep you. Okay? And let's continue to pray for one another and not bring one another down. Okay? Otherwise, thank you so much. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Month. Okay. Bye-bye.